Welcome to Happy Hour. Yay,
Hey.
Cheers. So hang on, because you can't say cheers and not take a sip. I think that's bad luck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take a sip.
We asked Tony to jump in and join us. Now, Tony can't stay for the whole happy hour because today is a very special day in Tony's life.
It is. So today is the 40th anniversary of my first date with my bride, Donna.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was, it's been a long time.
Look at you remembering that.
You know what? She doesn't. But I
Somebody's got to be the romantic one.
Somebody's got to be the one who remembers it, right?
That's right.
So you're probably wondering how they're celebrating. Well, they've got a big night of unpacking boxes.
It's you can't see much of it behind me. I'm sitting in the dining in what is the dining area, and we'll soon. All you guys could be having some happy hour. Mine's all in boxes on the floor here surrounding me.
There's a liquor store somewhere. I don't know why.
Hey, listen. The first thing that went up. This is like a new development here. The first thing that went up was the liquor store. The second thing that went up was the Domino's pizza.
There we go.
So I mean,
Jeff,
we're well equipped.
Hey, Cheryl, Suzanne, Susan, Regina, how y'all doing? Good to see
Jeff and Steve.
Steve, that was pretty funny. I like that.
So we asked Tony to interrupt his intensely romantic evening because we had technical issues today on the show. And I just want to say, first of all, I want to thank all of y'all for your patience. When people go on social media and say, if you guys are going to keep playing the same show every day, I'm going to stop listening. Folks, if we were going to play the same show every day, my ass would be in bed in my pajamas.
Amen.
Okay? Amen. Like we're busting our asses over here. There are some things like a ferocious windstorm knocking out transmitters. Anyway, Tony, take it away. Because clearly Mama is not capable of diplomacy.
Customer service is not for her tonight. You do the customer service.
We will not be doing customer service. Hey, listen, Sheri, as you know, I've had some interruptions on anniversary celebrations from certain people who will remain nameless, but I will give you a clue. They just retired. And you laughing, Lamar, but no, but like multiple years in a row on my wedding anniversary, I'm like at dinner and I'm like, yeah, Bob,
without fail.
So
it
anyway,
became a tradition.
It had become a tradition for a while. I'm glad that tradition came to an end.
Thank you, Allison. We really do appreciate your loyalty. Thank you.
So guys, so here's what happens. When we produce the show, we produce it in segments, and then those segments go to the affiliates. And imagine it's almost like a relay race, right? So like we're giving the baton to the next runner just in time for it to play out on the air, which is how we're able to give you today's show today. So that audio goes from the collective studios of everybody to a server that is based in my office in lovely Castle Rock, Colorado. And then that server distributes it to the cloud, and the radio stations download it and then put their music in between or their news or whatever. And you have the Bob and Sheri Show. Mostly 99.9% of our affiliates do this on an automated basis. The computer does all the arithmetic. The computer does all the work. So last night, Comcast decided that they were going to do an upgrade of their fiber optics in my neighborhood, unbeknownst to the customers. They didn't tell the customers this. And so I didn't lose internet connectivity, but my computer, that server in my office, slowed down to about the days of dial-up. Y'all remember? Right? And then welcome, right? You remember those days?
I remember.
That's about the speed that we had in my office. And the problem with that is it wasn't dead altogether. If it had been dead altogether,
you would have gotten an alert.
Yeah.
Right? Our backup uses emergency frequency cell phone service, right? Like first responders use. That would have been fine, but it didn't. It didn't quite crap out all the way. And so what ends up happening when our files don't go to the cloud to come down at the local radio stations, the radio station's computer plays yesterday's segment at the exact same time today.
So that there isn't just dead air.
Right. So it's not
The
just dead
backup.
air, but if you're driving to work and you heard the segment about the guy with the Scottish brogue that no one could understand at Parliament, you heard that at the exact same time today.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, guys. It's frustrating for us. It's frustrating for me to have to run to my office and work with our engineer Ron and try to troubleshoot all this stuff. Because while I'm troubleshooting, you're getting yesterday's show again.
And we don't know that that's happening.
So we're just rolling.
We're doing the show.
You're making a show.
And
Yeah,
I
we're
can't
rolling.
do the show and listen to the show because there'd be reverb. So I have to trust that what we're doing is right. And, back in the olden days, we delivered the show via satellite. And it will be easy to get nostalgic for that. But let me tell you something about the satellite. The curvature of the earth was a problem. Rain was a problem. And a solar flare could take us out of business.
Yep. And by the way, every August, there
yeah.
are solar flares. They were very big this year.
So the satellite was really no better and so expensive, and nobody does that anymore because you have to have these giant receivers. And so we thought, well, welcome to the future. We'll go broadband. We'll deliver via the internet. And it's not a perfect world.
And unfortunately, like with satellite, if you had rain, you'd lose the satellite connection for a little bit.
Yep.
And then after the rainstorm passed, it would come back up. The problem here is when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And then you hear yesterday's show at the same time today, or yesterday's segments at the same time today. And then you go, what's going on? What's going on? They trying to trick us? They trying to double cross us here, that Bob and Sheri people? And that's not it at all. By the time we hear about the problem and then can take the steps to troubleshoot it and resolve
it's well underway.
And this morning, just so you guys know, this morning, I was the guy who let Comcast know they had a problem in my area, because I was on the phone with the Comcast guy. And any of us who've had service with any internet provider, doesn't matter who it is, the first thing they say is, unplug the modem, wait 10 seconds, and then plug it back in. Well, I happen to have two modems in my office, so I knew that it wasn't my problem. But it took me about 40 minutes to get the Comcast guy to recognize that it wasn't a problem. And I finally said, I'm in an office building, ping the other clients, ping the other customers in this building, and find out how their internet is. And then 2 or 3 minutes later said, they're all slow. Okay, then I don't need to reset my modem. Oh, that looks good.
It is good.
That looks good.
I try really hard. I'm a social worker and I'm a doormat and a people pleaser and all of those things. But do you really think I'm dragging my ass out of bed in the middle of the night, waking him up so that I can run yesterday's show? Like why? Why would we be doing that? That's like if one of y'all posts on Facebook, I didn't get a chance to listen to the Bob and Sheri show today, and I immediately jump in there and go, what are your priorities? Well, why don't you need to focus better. Like, why you gotta be a dick? Like there's no malice here. Like everybody's trying as hard as they can. And I'm just, you know what? Sometimes Kevin says to me, maybe you should go shoe shopping, which is code for someone's bitchy is out. You need to do something to cheer yourself back up.
So before I leave, to add insult to injury. So the internet's running slow at the office. So instead of staying at the office and working, I decided I'm going to come home and work. But because we have new construction, Comcast cut me off so that they could bury the cable in the backyard. And so I had no internet here and no internet there.
Of course.
Because
Of
that
course.
was totally on brand. Totally on brand.
I have at my house, I have a generator because we lose power a lot. And if I lose power, I'm knocked off the air. Our generator automatically within a second of our power going out, Kevin built it so that the generator would flip on. I have a generator. I have 2 different internet backups, 2, just in case, because without the internet, I can't work. So we have 2 backup servers. But if Comcast goes under, even if those servers came from another planet, they can't, they're just bricks at that point.
Let me say this about your generator.
What is going on over
Of
there?
all the country, for sure, I may even say the world, nobody gets the use, because people will spend the money on a generator for the house, and it's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And then nothing ever happens. Sheri has got her money's worth out of that generator because she uses that. I mean, the electricity there, I don't know. The squirrel died in the cage. I don't know what the hell's happening, but her electricity goes off all the time. And that, I'm telling you, that generator, you should be doing a commercial for them, because
I should.
It is flawless. It is flawless. When that you just say, well, I'm on the generator. Hell, who knew?
A lot of times, Tony, it flips us on the generator and doesn't even interrupt.
Crazy. So I've never heard of. I've talked to a lot of people that have invested in the generator. I said, how often do you use that? Maybe once every 4 or 5 years. Nope. I know somebody uses it just about every week. I mean,
I use it 4 or 5 times a month. Sometimes for 20 minutes.
It's crazy how you use it.
When Hurricane Helene came through, we went on generator for 5 straight days. So here's the thing, and here's just a little piece of friendly advice. So Kevin built our house, and which is why I can never kick him out of it. If anything goes wrong, I have to leave. Oh, that sucks. But anyway, when we bought this lot, and we would come out here, and we spent some time walking the neighborhood and kind of trying to figure out, well, what do we want to do exactly? And after our 3rd pass, this man, I guess, had been watching us. He was the neighborhood retired man who paid attention to everything. I think most big neighborhoods have one of those, right?
What's the movie Tom Hanks was in?
Oh, I know the one you mean. Yeah.
That was that guy? Okay.
That was that guy.
Okay.
So one day he comes out, and it's me and Kevin and my dog Sam, and he stops and introduces himself. And he said, you folks are going to build a house. And we were like, yeah, we are. And he said, well, you need to understand something. We lose power all the time in this neighborhood. You should look at it. You should consider a generator. Now, typically when that happens, people dismiss that. They're like, oh, Mr. Old.
That's what they all say. Yeah.
Well, at that point, I started when we meet other neighbors. Hey, how you doing? Oh, his name is Sam. He's a Havanese. Hey, do you lose your power a lot? It was crazy how many people told me we lose power all the time. Yeah. So I said to Kevin, we need one of them our Costco whole house generators that's hardwired in. And it was not cheap, as you know.
No, they're
that
expensive.
Thing is paid for itself 50 times over now.
You owe them money. You've got your return. Most people hardly ever use it, but oh my gosh.
I should be the poster girl for Generac.
You should.
Because I can tell you, we have had a couple of instances. So the day that Kevin had his bionic leg surgery, January 9th of last year, if you remember, his surgery got delayed and we all got evacuated because a tornado.
Yeah.
The weather was really bad. I brought him, we had to call the charge nurse had to call the drugstore and make sure that they could fill his pain medication. I got him home, pulled into the neighborhood. Everything was pitch dark in a downpour, except for one house, and that was ours.
Wow.
And if we had not, Kevin couldn't walk. I don't even know how I got him in the house. I pulled up to the front door and jumped out and got him and kind of like, pirate carried him up the stairs. If I had to do that in a dark house in January with no heat, I don't know what we would have done. If the generator had only came through for us that night, it would have been
It's
worth
worth
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Guys,
Go be
adios.
romantic.
Have a good
Happy
evening.
anniversary.
Off to a romantic dinner somewhere. I'm not sure where, but
I hear Domino's is open nearby.
and there's a liquor
There's a
store
liquor-
right next door, so I think
Yeah,
we have an
there you
evening.
go.
I think we have an evening.
You go have fun. Happy
All right,
first
guys.
Rum and Diet Coke. Have a good
Good
one,
night,
brother.
everybody. You got it. See you guys later. Bye.
Yeah.
I want to really quick. Someone asked if the on-air stuff affects the podcast. No, it does not. That's a different system that the files are taken in and
Oh yeah.
loaded in as after the show is over. You know, we save down the audio and it's loaded in separately.
Yeah.
So
I mean, think
it
about
doesn't
it.
affect that.
The show is the same time every weekday, but the podcast, you can listen to it whenever.
Mhm.
So, and while we're doing the show and we think everything's fine and you're hearing yesterday or whatever, we have no idea that's happening. And every segment we do is saved into a separate file and Doc turns it into the daily Bob and Sheri podcast.
Hey, Crystal, what city in Southwest Georgia? Let me know.
Oh, I'm sitting here waiting for Crystal to answer. It's
Yeah, she's not going to answer for a little while.
We're all tired. We are all tired.
This is how scattered I am today. I thought today was next week. Heather reached out to me about happy hour. I'm like, don't we have a community event tonight? Heather's like, that's next week.
Congratulations, Kelly.
Then when I said goodbye to Max today, I was like, okay, see you tomorrow for the gateway to the weekend. And he's like, tomorrow's Friday. Oh. So then I went to the gun store with Kevin because I don't have a holster.
Did you not get a holster with your SIG in the? Now it's not a great holster; it's a belt holster. But
I did, but it won't. You can't have an optical.
Okay, I got you. You got to have something made for. I got you. So
I said to Kev, and I needed a magazine clip thingy to wear. Like not a bandolier, but kind of like the magazine version of that. I don't even
so
know
when you empty out the first one, you're ready to reload.
Yeah.
I hear you, John Wick.
I don't know what any of this stuff is. So I was like, after work on Thursday, we have to go to the gun store. And my gun teacher is a woman named Christy. She's fabulous. She's just amazing. So I had texted Christy, I'm coming to the store because I don't have a holster or whatever these other things were. So we get there and we figure it all out and get all the stuff. And Kevin is over at the cash register paying. And I'm looking around the store and there's a photograph on the counter. And I'm like, God, she looks, I know that woman. And then I looked again, it was me. They used one of my pictures from one of my classes, for the supplements thing. When you are looking at a photograph of yourself and thinking, gosh, does she live near me? Like that's how fried, scattered. Hey, Ed Erdley, it was free cone day at Dairy Queen. That explains it. We drove by Dairy Queen. The line was in the road. It was out the door. Yeah. I didn't know.
That's the only cone. That's the only cone that's better than QT.
QT is amazing.
Dairy Queen's ice cream is the bomb. And their chocolate milkshake has the best ratio of chocolate versus everything. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I have never had a QT. Kevin loves their ice cream cones. I've never had
a
QT milkshake.
What is wrong? Okay, let's get a list of what you've never done. You've never I don't know. There's all the places you haven't eaten, all the things you haven't done. I mean,
Lamar, I've never had a Big Mac, a Whopper, or a QT milkshake. But my friend, the things I have done would curl what's left of your hair. Okay, and we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it there.
I cannot imagine. It's hard for me to imagine that not every person that lives in this country has at least had a Big Mac. I don't know. It's just like they're everywhere. They're on TV talking about it. And it is a trick. The Big Mac is a trick because they give you two little bitty patties in there. Okay. There's 2 little bitty patties in there, and there's bread at the top, there's bread in the middle, and there's bread at the bottom. So they're tricking you, okay? But
Yeah.
you can go in there and order. There's 2 things you can do. You can order the Big Mac without the middle piece of bread, okay? Or you can order a quarter pounder and have them add Big Mac sauce to it.
And does that basically give you a smaller Big Mac?
Well, no, it actually gives you a bigger Big Mac because the quarter pounder patty is more meat than the 2 little bitty, Big Macs. So,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they get the secret sauce. So you get the secret sauce, which is Thousand Island dressing. Let's all be honest. But I mean, that's the trick. But here's the deal: when you get them to change something at the order at the McDonald's, you're wondering, am I making somebody mad? Because whoever's making my food, I don't want them to be mad at me. I do not want them to be mad at me. No.
Lamar, are you seeing how many people have never had a Big Mac? It is
Do
not.
special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion on a sesame seed bun. Yeah.
There are prizes. Every comment counts as an entry. We'll give some prizes away tonight.
I have no idea what they are. It's going to be whatever Tony has
Tony
unpacked.
Garcia prize.
Wait, who said they don't have no idea what they are? How's the Amish person getting on here? They don't have the internet. What is the deal?
We didn't. We never went to McDonald's as a kid, in part because there was not a McDonald's in Star.
Yeah, that makes that you get a pass on that a little bit.
Yeah,
now listen, wait a minute though. I grew up in Hartwell, Georgia. The only thing we had was one end of town was a Dairy Queen, and the other end of town was a chicken burger. When I got a chance to go to Anderson, South Carolina, and I saw the Golden Arches, and we pulled up, my life changed. I mean, it was, oh my gosh. And at that point, I would never see a McDonald's because we never went anywhere. Only time I'd see a McDonald's if we went to Anderson. Once I got a car, if I was driving down the road on the interstate and I saw a McDonald's sign, I pull over. I don't care. I pull over because I got to have it. I mean, I did. Yeah.
Anytime. Oh, hey, Frank.
He was begging to come out.
Anytime I had Bob in my car, it could be 9:00 in the morning. He needed a McDonald's hamburger with only onions and a Coke. And I would be like, "Don't you want some French fries?" He's like, "No, I don't need French fries." I'm like, "Well, but I want to eat some of your French fries. So you're going to have to get some French fries so I can have some of your French fries."
There's no reason to stop at McDonald's unless you're getting the fries. And the fries, now they have great fries, but the fries are not always perfect. Okay. Sometimes they're okay. Sometimes they may be sitting there, but if you ever get them where they just come out of the basket and somebody was a little heavy with the salt, God, what an experience. It's the greatest thing ever.
Do you know what I have had at McDonald's that was really delicious? Some sort of slushy coffee drink. Do you know what I'm talking about, Heather? Like a McCafe ice.
Oh, McCafe, yeah.
Slushy coffee thing with chocolate in it. It was.
It's like the McFrap or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
Whatever it was. It was really good. I've had that at McDonald's.
Fish sandwich. They have the best fish sandwich in the world. The best. And it is the only sandwich they sell where the bun is steamed. So the bun is like a soft pillow on the top, like a soft pillow. And you God.
How many people were listening to the regular show the day that I had the epiphany that Lamar must be hotter than one of these hot fish sandwiches in the bedroom? Because I've never known a man to spend the time preparing the meal, enjoying the meal, discussing the meal, the exact sensuous specifications for every pat of butter, every grain of rice. One day it just hit me like a truck. Oh, this guy. Oh, yeah, this guy right here. Do you see?
We need to move on.
Do you see the way though? Heather, did you see the whole way? The steamed bun envelops the fish like a pillow.
Now I'd like to see on the side here. I don't know where this place originated. It's called Sliders, and they take those not stainless steel, but those steel containers, and they stack them up, and they make a restaurant, and they sell nothing but small sliders. They just built one in Spartanburg. So we went.
They don't have French fries or anything? Just
Oh, no. They have the slider, but their French fries, they are the waffle fries like McDonald's, but they're seasoned. Sorry, like Chick-fil-A, but they're seasoned.
Okay.
They're okay. I don't know, but the hamburger, now the burger itself, it's a good hamburger, no problem. But the bun, they take the bun and they butter it.
Yeah, tell me
They
more.
put it on the grill. And it's toasted. It's just a very light brown, but the butter makes it so yellow, and it's got a crispy crunch to it. And then the top of it is like a really soft pillow, but it's warm. Oh my God, it's great. I mean, the bun makes it worth everything. It's really cool.
Would you say, in your experience, that slider was asking for that? They were kind of begging for that warm, pillowy bun with golden butter.
Arby's curly fries. Arby's curly fries is an abomination to the world. It is an abomination. A curly fry is a fake fry. They need to call them curly potatoes because they're not fries.
Like curly fries.
No,
you like curly fries?
I like curly fries a lot, actually.
Fake curly fries. The grease cannot get to them evenly. Okay, so you're going to have a crispy side and a soggy side. The whole lot. You've got to be able to be surrounded 360 degrees by the hot grease. My gosh, curly fries, terrible.
I've never had that experience with curly fries, but I guess if they were like that, I wouldn't like them. But most of the ones I get,
all I've ever had. I hate them. But now, Arby's has great crinkle cut fries. They have great, and my wife, Carla, my smoking hot wife, she's the one that set me up on that because she goes to Arby's a lot. I'm not a big Arby's person. And all of a sudden they started doing those crinkle fries, and they are very good. They are very good.
I bet somebody here knows the answer to this, but why are certain fries, it's like they're battered? Do you know what I'm talking about?
They call it seasoned, but it's like a batter. They dip it in something. That is another abomination.
That is an abomination unto the Lord and should not be permitted.
Those are my favorite kind of fries.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. The only thing worse than that, and Sheri, I know you're going to agree, the only thing worse than that is the steak fry.
Oh, a flabby.
I love steak fries.
God.
Oh my God.
It is a flabby, pitiful
steak
potato.
fry.
You guys are just haters.
A cross between a baked potato and a French fry, but it's mostly like a baked potato. God, you can't get them. They're so thick and ungangly, you can't even get them crisp. There's never been a crisp steak fry. It's terrible.
They're flabby and mealy, but sometimes the very ends will be a little bit crisp. So you'll be nibbling the ends like a rodent in a desperate attempt to scratch that French fry itch. No, I'm with you.
I love steak fries with like gravy on them. Like that is my favorite.
Okay, that's a different animal. If you put gravy on a steak fry, now we've got a whole potato gravy situation.
But honestly, I think you guys are just haters. I think you're just haters.
I'm so sorry. On the 9th day, God created gravy to go on a biscuit, not to go on French fries or nothing. A biscuit. You open the biscuit and put the gravy on the biscuit. Oh my God, fries with gravy. When you go up north, I go up north and I'll order fries and they go, "You want some gravy with that?" What are you talking about? What are you saying? No, I don't want gravy on my French fries.
Have you ever had poutine?
Me?
Tried it, didn't like it. It's just the gravy thing. It's not my thing. It's not my. Listen, here's the deal. I don't put gravy on fries, and I don't get an order of fries and squirt ketchup all over them. I don't even get that. Take your fry like it is. You can dip it in whatever you want to. Mayonnaise is your best dip, but you can dip. But you can't just cover it up with a bunch of ketchup. It's crazy.
I like barbecue. I like to dip in barbecue sauce.
That's okay. That's fine.
And I am a late to the ranch dressing party for homemade potato chips and French fries. That's the only thing I've had it on. But a homemade potato chip, like in a sports bar, right out of the fryer with some ranch dressing.
No.
Now we're talking.
I got to be honest with you. I'd rather have a sister in the whorehouse than eat ranch dressing. I'm just not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. No. 90% of the world loves ranch dressing. I don't. No, don't want ranch. I just don't understand it.
Hang on. I've been starting a book of Lamar, and I need to put, I'd rather have a sister in a whorehouse than ranch dressing. Let me grab it.
It's ridiculous. Ugh.
Here we go. In case you think I'm not telling the truth. Hang on. What's today's date, everybody? Is today the 20th?
3/20/25.
3/20/25. Yeah, we're not sure what we're giving away, but I'll tell you one thing we're going to give away tonight is the brand new updated edition of the Book of Bob.
Yes.
And every comment will count as an entry. So
it is very funny. It is very funny.
Rather.
See, I love honey mustard on my fries.
I'm a honey mustard person. I'm okay with that. But
in a whorehouse,
a man, and I'm surprised this never hit me. I was working on the beer truck from a Slits distributorship way back in the 70s. And the guy that worked for another beer company, he was a Miller guy. We sat down to eat lunch together, and we both ordered hamburger steak. And of course, if you live anywhere around the South, you get a hamburger steak. You do not put gravy on it. Oh my God. You get a hamburger steak and you get coleslaw and you get French fries. And so I'm, dipping in some honey mustard or whatever. He goes, he said, you don't put mayonnaise on your fries? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I dipped. That was I remember it. God, I can remember. I was sitting at, I can't think of the guy. Is a convenience store, and he had a little grill over there. And I dipped a French fry in mayonnaise, and I thought to myself, where have you been all of my life? Oh my God, mayonnaise and French fries. Oh my God.
We're not just going to speed past the fact that you don't have gravy on your hamburger steak. Because what?
Oh, God.
Just naked.
Because I'm not a heathen. I love Jesus. I mean, come on. I'm not. Okay, here's the deal. You get a hamburger steak, you get grilled onions, you get grilled peppers, and you get grilled mushrooms. Okay. Gravy. What is the gravy? You lose all the taste. I mean, I know. No.
What kind of gravy are you eating that you lose all the taste, first of all?
Well, you're tasting the gravy. You're not tasting the hamburger steak.
Which is essential. See, here's the thing. You are suffering from a deficit of decent gravy in your life. Most gravy that you don't make yourself is you can taste the flour that they use to thicken it, and it's just vaguely metallic sometimes. And
I love tartar sauce too, Judy.
It's just like they took a bucket of brown goo and showed it a picture of a cow and said, "Now you're beef gravy." Real gravy? Oh my goodness.
Gravy on the road. And that's another thing. You're doing gravy out in the general public. You got to be at somebody's house to have gravy. I mean, my God. I'm a Cracker Barrel person. I'm a Cracker Barrel. I used to be. They got to the point now. They got nobody working. You can't get no service, whatever. But I love Cracker Barrel. And everybody talks about, their biscuits. Whoa, their biscuits are great. Everything's great. But they bring you this gravy. And it's in a bowl. And they say, this is gravy. You can take a butter knife and set it in the middle of the gravy and it stands up. No, it's not gravy. No, it's not. Oh my God, it's yogurt. I don't know what it is, but no.
Gravy, there are some things that shortcuts are fine. But gravy is one of those things where you have to roast the bones and make the stock and strain out the aromatics and clarify the broth. And then you have to make a béarnaise, which is a paste of flour and softened unsalted butter. And you have to whisk it in with the slow, patient hand of a loving mother.
Yeah.
It takes an entire day.
Forever.
It takes
an entire day. Barbecue sauce. I do not put barbecue sauce on pulled pork. No.
Oh no, that's strictly a hot vinegar situation, like a
Yeah,
like
yeah. First thing Carla and I do, Carla considers herself a connoisseur. She considers herself a connoisseur of a lot of stuff, but barbecue is one of the things. I'm a connoisseur of barbecue, but if I take her somewhere and if we walk in and we say, "Do you go ahead and put the sauce on the barbecue?" and they say yes, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day. We get back in the car because anytime, and this is a tip from me. Anytime you go to a barbecue place and they've already put sauce on the barbecue, they're hiding something. See, this is like eating, a buffet in a strip club. They're distracting you. Okay, it's no, do not. You made your own. They've got like 12 sauces. Don't eat something that somebody's already sauced because they don't have any confidence in their meat. When I cook a pork butt, no, I'm not adding nothing to it. No, that's crazy. It's crazy.
A real barbecue, a real pit master, it is the meat.
It's the meat.
And
That's
if
right,
you
it's
want
the
to
meat.
adulterate that, that's between you and your conscience.
That's
But
right. That's right.
yeah.
Listen. If you want to order a steak in a great restaurant and you want to put something on it, Heinz 57, that's your business. I will never say a word. My wife, God, I love her like nobody's business. She likes her steak well done. Her kids, they give her hell about that. Whoa, wait. That's her steak. She can do what she wants to with it. You do what you want to with your steak. I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm not going to put nothing else on it because you shouldn't have to put anything on it except for salt, pepper, and garlic. Other than that, you don't need it. I mean, you really don't. So,
No, I feel that way.
yeah.
And you know what? You're right. If you want to eat that meat raw, here's a knife. You
Yeah.
want that meat cooked until it's unrecognizable, here's an even sharper knife.
That's
Now,
right. Don't care. That's your
it's not
business.
my thing.
I'm not judging nobody. I don't care. I say that about everybody. I mean, but come on.
This is not why I divorced my children's father, but it was a black mark against
There was a big list, weren't they? It's a pretty big list.
There was a pretty big list, but I gave up red meat for Lent one year. And this is before we had Karamia. So I gave up red meat for Lent and was looking very forward to having a steak at the end of Lent. Like you do. The minute you give it up, you're craving it. Like I could go months without eating red meat, but anyway.
I gave up coffee one time. Oh my God, that was
so hard.
Never do that again.
So I have studied Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. I have an incredible book that Stephen Ranella, the hunter, wrote about wild game, a cookbook. And I have studied and perfected a steak. I mean, I can make a steak, cast iron, reverse sear, the works.
Yep. Gotcha.
My ex decides to surprise me by cooking. And that was a really big surprise because he doesn't know how. Okay. Yeah. If it wasn't a Pop-Tart or a thing of frozen bird's eye peas, like he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He cooked that steak until I could have put laces on it and walked around wearing it on my foot. I mean, it was disgusting. And it ruined it. I had waited 40 days, 49 days. So I don't want to eat well done meat, but I would never stop Carla from.
No, that's what I'm saying. You do you. I mean, that's fine. And listen, I always say this. Carla is the greatest person to cook a steak for because I get everything going. And that morning of the day we're going to have steaks, I put hers on. And I go ahead and put it on early in the morning. Let it cook for 9 hours. You know what I'm saying?
You can't hurt it, right?
Yep. She has never once, and this is what's funny. When we go to a restaurant and she wants a steak, she does. And we go to great restaurants and she'll say, I would like to have a steak and I would like to have it well done, no pink. Okay. We're at a restaurant where they're charging like $65 for this steak. Okay. Great. It comes back to the table. It's medium rare. And we go, no, wait a minute. Well done, no pink. Oh, no problem. We can take care of that. No problem. Take it back. They bring it back. It's still, I mean, and I finally, we were at Ruth Chris one night, and this was the third time they brought it back. I said, look, man, just put it on the grill. Leave it alone. Go take a break. Go do something else. I mean, I don't know. Just leave it alone because she's not going to. My wife has never once sent back a steak and said, "Well, this is just way too done." She's not going to do it. She's not going to do it. She wants it to be what it is. And, let it go. That's her business. I don't care.
I have found, because Bob is a well-done meat guy, and I have found that if you want
Which is weird to me. It's weird to me, but I'm fine with it. I mean, but
absolutely,
I'm surprised.
Well done. Here's the thing. If you go to a restaurant that specializes in steak, it's almost like they can't do that.
It drives them crazy.
So that's something that you have to eat your well-done meat in the privacy of your home like the animal you are. You just do. I mean, I don't make these rules, Lamar, but how many times I've never had to send anything back because they're happy to cook it medium rare.
Carla's steak record is probably, and once again, this is no fault because here's what she'll say, because she'll get a filet. She'll say, if you need to butterfly it. I mean, do whatever you need to do to make that. And this is what I love. They go, "Oh no, we don't need to butterfly it. This is not going to be a problem." Yes, it is. It's a problem, but probably 50% of the time it's a problem. Here's what I love. When we go somewhere and they have steak on the menu and Carla orders chicken, I'm happy. Because here's the problem. It's not Carla's fault, but if she orders the steak and they have to take it back, then here I sit. Because we don't eat at a table unless everybody's eating. I mean, that's just not right. I don't think it's right. I mean, so
one of the challenges that I have is that Kevin is from that generation where their mothers told them that they would get trichinosis from undercooked pork. So you understand that there's a temperature that you cook pork to, and it's done.
And once you get there, it's done. That's right.
It's safe and you're good and you're done. He will not. He will not. If I make that man a pork chop, and I figured out finally how to get around it. I take a meat hammer and I beat the snot out of that pork chop.
Or it's like a piece of paper.
Yeah, so it's more like a cutlet, like it's like a Milanese cutlet. Yeah. And then I sear it in a cast iron pan because I have multiple digital meat thermometers because he doesn't trust just one.
Yeah. Oh, you got to have more than one.
I've got to have I have to have a jury of pork chop peers. And it's just it's like, babe, it's Wednesday night. Can you just eat this pork? And if you die, I'll go to prison. Like, can we just eat dinner without he's convinced I'm trying to kill him. Okay. Yeah. Because there's a million Dateline episodes where she killed him with an undercooked pork chop. Like that's
she killed him with antifreeze, but he thought it was an undercooked pork chop.
Yeah. Oh, Crystal, how is it to care for a cast iron pan? I've always wanted one. Once you get that
bad boy, have one?
Crystal, listen. I was intimidated too, but once you get that thing seasoned, it is a dream to cook on, and it's so easy to clean.
And it's easy to season. It's not that hard. Sometimes you can get them pre-seasoned, but I mean, you just have to put the grease in, and put it in the oven, then you get it back out. You go back and forth. A cast iron. The reason that I've got a Blackstone griddle. I've got one that I take on the camper, and I got one that I've got here at the house. The reason I love the Blackstone, it's like cooking on a griddle. I'm sorry, it's like cooking on a pan, a cast iron pan, because there's nothing better. Listen, I've been cooking steaks for years. I've got I don't know what you call it, but it's a frame you set down. It's the heat comes up the fire, and I put the cast iron skillet out there,
right on a campfire.
You can't do better than a cast iron skillet for a steak. You really cannot. I'm sorry. Everybody loves a grill, and a grill is awesome. Two things are better in cast iron: hamburger and a steak. Because it's got to set in its own fat. That's where the flavor is. That's where the taste is.
Well, and the heat.
Yeah, and the heat.
You can get a cast iron skillet so hot that when you dry, and you should always have it smoke. Like you should have it hell temperature hot, because when you drop that piece of meat into your cast iron skillet, it sears and gets a crust. And as soon as you can wiggle that meat and it moves freely, it's ready to flip.
Yeah, don't try to scrape it up.
Yeah,
You got to
don't.
let it be free, because that's when that the caramelization and everything works, and then it's ready to go, and it's awesome. Here's the deal on your steaks. Here, I'm sure everybody's got their own steak recipe, and I'm one of those people that just very seldom I like to go to a steakhouse, because most people can cook a steak exactly like they like it at home.
Yeah,
And
same.
I'm sure
same
you're cooking
thing.
it great. But we went up to New York when my son graduated from medical school, and we're all up there, and we got like 12 people up there eating and whatever. And we got all this food coming in. We're in a nice Italian restaurant, and it's awesome. On the menu was a steak, and it was a porterhouse steak, and you ordered it, and it came out, and it was huge, and they had it sliced up, and you divided it out. It was the best steak ever. And so my ex-wife said, I'm going to buy the recipe book to figure out what that was. Well, I think that recipe book was $30. Here was what the recipe was for the steak. You take a nice steak and you put salt more than you think you need, pepper more than you think you need, and garlic powder more than you would ever think possible. And so when we got back from the graduation, it's about close to a month, my ex-wife's husband, Bill, he called and he said, get a couple of porterhouse steaks and come up here. We're going to do the cookbook deal. So we go up there, and he and I, we did salt and pepper, and then we did the garlic like it was crazy. It was like it had snowed, okay? We cooked the steaks. The steaks were really good, but we all agreed not enough garlic. It just wasn't enough garlic. All you got to do on a steak, salt, pepper, garlic. That's all you got to do. You really do. You don't have to do anything else.
And way more. I think this point about salt.
People don't understand how much salt you need. You need a lot.
One of the things that makes restaurant food really good is the cooks and chefs are really generous with butter, salt, and olive oil.
Yeah.
They just really are. So here's how I cook a steak. Always bring your meat to room temperature. You don't want to put cold. You don't want to cook a cold steak. So that means, yank that bad boy out of the fridge about 45 minutes, maybe even an hour before you're going to cook it. Pat it dry with paper towel. Sprinkle each side generously.
Generous. That's a big word. Generous.
Generous. I mean, like just to the point where you're like, I'm out of control. Kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper, both sides.
Yep.
Put it where the cats can't get it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a thing everybody has to deal with. So put it away where the critters can't get it. And then so if you're cooking it on a cast iron pan, get your cast iron pan out, which since it's seasoned, before you put it away, you wiped it out with some vegetable oil. So it's already got a little bit of oil on it.
Yeah.
Get that pan hot as balls.
If you want to know if you've got it hot enough, get you a little water on your fingers and flip it on there. And when that water dances off,
skitters.
Yeah.
Chuck that steak in there 4 minutes and then turn it, and you'll have this. Now, I'm talking about a steak that's about yay thick. If you have a really thin steak, flip it in two. So if it's about yay big, give it 4 minutes, flip it. Give it another 3 minutes or so on the other side. Test it with your temperature. Test it with your digital thermometer. And you cook to temperature. Don't cook to time and don't cook to feel. Treat it like it's baking, like it's chemistry and a science. If you cook to temperature, you're always right? And instant read digital thermometers, I think I got mine for $4 at like Ollie's or something. So when it hits temperature, get it off that heat onto a plate and leave it the hell alone for 10 minutes.
But understand, whatever your temperature is, you need to pull it off of that grill when it's a few degrees under that.
Yeah.
Because when it comes off, it's still cooking. So if you want a medium steak, you want to be at about 140 or so when you pull it off.
I come off at 135 because I like medium rare.
Yeah. I come off at 140.
Yeah, I come off at 132, 135 at the most. and you should rest pork chops, and honestly chicken wouldn't be a bad idea to rest either, because what ends up happening is when you cut your meat too quickly after cooking it, all the juices run out onto the plate. Yep. And that looks impressive, but now the juices are on the plate. If you give it time to rest, that gets reabsorbed into the tissue. Anyway, 10 minutes, it's worth it to do for 10 minutes. And then, okay, cleaning your cast iron pan. I let it cool. I scrape out any bits and pieces with like a metal spatula, throw it away, wipe it out with paper towel, throw that away. I dump in a generous, like a handful of kosher salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. And then I scrub it using the salt to scour the pan. And then I wipe all of that out, and then a very thin coating of vegetable oil and put it away. How do you do yours, Lamar? Because to me, it's
I basically do the same thing. Now, if I've cooked something that has really stuck some stuff in there, I've got like a 6x6 chainmail, stainless steel chainmail, and I will throw the salt in there, but then I'll take the chainmail and run it through there so that any kind of bits that are really stuck, that will get it out. And once I get that out of there, I put the oil on, and about once every 3 months, I will wipe it down, put the oil in it, and then I'll stick it back in the oven at 350. And once the oven hits 350, I cut it off, and then hours later, I come back and pick it up. So I'm making, and I do my Blackstone the same way to keep it seasoned. You have to.
It's really not that hard.
No, it's not hard. It's very easy to clean. Now, somebody said a while ago, and I want to ask you about this, Sheri. Somebody said garlic salt. I don't use garlic salt because I want to control the salt, and I use garlic powder, and I use garlic, and I use salt. And I don't ever do the two because I want to control what I'm doing,
Garlic. I have garlic salt for pizza. That's the only thing I use garlic salt on is pizza. And that might be a Philly thing because I've had so many people stop in mid-bite and look and go, what the hell? But I use it for pizza. And I have one more cast iron skillet cleaning tip. If you cook something that's sticky, and sometimes you'll have like depending on the sauce, that you might be using, you'll have a sticky mess in your cast iron. So what I do is I take the meat out, but I leave it on the heat and I add some liquid and deglaze the pan. So the liquid comes up to temperature and you take your metal spatula or whatever, because the beauty of cast iron is you can use metal utensils on it. And you scrape it up and you deglaze the pan. And then you dump all of that, and then the kosher salt, lemon, all of it.
Yeah. And it there's nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. I mean, now, if you happen to have a stainless steel, my son-in-law, who's a great cook, my son-in-law, he started cooking with a really nice stainless steel pan, and so I bought one immediately. And stainless steel is a little bit funny. And so when you're cooking something that might have something, like you say, something sticky or whatever, if the stainless steel pan looks like it's going to be hard to clean, put some water in it with some baking soda, put it back on the oven, bring that water up to a boil, and then let it sit there. When that's said and done, stainless steel will be clean as a pan. I mean, you can clean it with no problem.
Stainless steel. So, Mr. Kevin, one of the many things he's weird about is, am I poisoning him with a nonstick pan? So I'm either killing him with a vaguely undercooked pork chop, Heather, or hear me out. The pork chop is cooked, but I did it in a pan with a poisonous coating. In fact, I eat this food too, right?
Is he aware that if you wanted to kill him, there are about 5,000 easier ways?
So much easier. And that would make me look more dramatically suffering as the widow.
And she would know each and every one of those 5,000 ways.
That's why we have Dateline Secrets Uncovered.
Damn right.
So I was like, you know what? I cannot hear one more word about I'm poisoning you with half and half. I'm poisoning you with pork chops. I'm poisoning you with nonstick pans. So I switched to stainless steel. And it is a pain in the ass until you master the one simple trick. Ready? Here we go. Yeah. Heat it up.
Yes. It's got to be hot.
You can put a nonstick pan on a burner, turn the heat on, and drop an egg in and go mind your business, and that egg is going to be okay. You can't do that with stainless steel. You have to heat it up, and then, oh my God, and this is going to be sweet magic to your ears, Lamar. You need some fat in that pan. You need some butter. So the pan is hot, and then the butter or the oil or whatever goes in, beef tallow if you're rocking that.
They sell bacon. They sell bacon grease now. They've got it at Buc-ee's, but it's online. Bacon grease already filtered. Blah 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 blah. It's bacon grease. My mama kept bacon, but the bacon grease we used was probably 12, 13 years old. I mean, we just poured it in the coffee can and grab it and throw it in the pan. I don't know what that bottom must have been like. I really don't.
My grandma did that. I think some of that bacon grease dated back to World War II. Like I just could not. I was skeevy about it. But stainless steel, that is the only catch. And if you don't have it hot enough and you don't get the fat in there, you're going to get that weird brown sticky coating that you need. Are you ready? Barkeeper's friend.
Yes.
Barkeeper's friend.
Thing for stainless steel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once you get used to cooking in stainless steel, you have no problem. You really don't.
Yeah, because it becomes like,
you know what you're doing.
Muscle memory. Like, well, I'm going to make scrambled eggs. This pan needs to heat up for at least 10 minutes before we can do that. So as I've slowly stripped away all of the things he thinks I'm using to poison him, I'm noticing new paranoia filling in those cracks and gaps. I don't know why men get married.
Honestly, I feel like more husbands have been killed with a cast iron pan than by any of the things he's actually afraid of.
Teflon, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if I ever drink anything sweet that looks like Gatorade, I'm going to know it's antifreeze, and I know Carla's taking me out. I know she is. I'm watching for that at all times. At all times.
Is that? Do they give you that at the wedding, like husband training? Like here's.
No, Dateline. Every woman that kills her husband kills him with antifreeze. And they go to the house and she keeps the antifreeze. She keeps it at the house.
You know what? This is because we have a shortage of critical thinking in America. So follow this train of thought, Lamar. The antifreeze can be disguised in the sweet iced tea. You won't taste it. All she's thinking about is, will her husband suspect? But she doesn't see critical thinking. You go to that next level. Will the law dog suspect? But they don't do that. They don't go to that next level.
I switched to unsweetened tea years ago when people say, are you watching your weight? No, I'm looking for antifreeze. Unsweetened tea. That's why I drink unsweetened tea. I'm looking for antifreeze.
Dude, I mean, if more men understood what a vehicle for antifreeze sweet tea is, I mean,
women don't like guns. They don't like knives. They don't like blood. They like poison. They like it.
And you know what's terrible about that? We come across a lot of poisoning stories when we're working on weird stuff. When you poison someone to death, you think like, oh, I don't like violence. I could never stab him. Poisoning someone to death is watching them die an agonizing death over days and weeks and months.
Yeah.
We did one.
And if he's an asshole, that's okay.
Oh, that's part of the, I mean, that's a,
don't you think? Yeah, he's an asshole.
Fringe benefit.
Yeah.
We did one True Weird Stuff episode where this woman, she was putting so much arsenic in this man's coffee that at some point you have to say to yourself, my brother in Christ, if that doesn't taste weird to you, maybe you do need to die. I mean, like,
is it not crunchy coffee after a while? I mean, there's only so much.
She told the police that she had put the morning of his last day, because she had tried to kill him and he ended up in the hospital and they saved his life. But she went under suspicion because a doctor in the hospital at that time was like, you know, not for nothing, everybody, but this looks a lot like arsenic poisoning.
Yeah.
So they discharged this guy from the hospital and he goes home and she is pissed. She's supposed to be planning a funeral, not making scrambled eggs for this dickweed. So she makes him breakfast and she ended up dumping half a box of rat poison into his coffee.
9 to 5 style.
He drank it.
Damn. I love some coffee, but now at a certain point, I gotta think, damn. I mean,
Lamar, but like, okay, so I'm so bougie that I can tell if you change the brand of coffee. You think I'm not going to notice you dumped a half a box of Raid into it? Are you going to tell me really you wouldn't notice a half a box of rat poison in your coffee?
yeah, I could tell that.
Yeah. Yeah. So not to be cocky, like, oh, they're not going to poison us. We would know there was rat poison in it, but Lamar.
Yeah, I keep my eye on her. I love her to death, and she loves me, and everything's great. But hey, keep my eye. I got to keep my eye on her. I watch a lot of Dateline.
I do too, and I'm always saying to Kevin, why in the world would you think that I'm trying to kill you with a pork chop or half and half or whatever it is that he's convinced has been sent to take him
I
out?
wonder what the percentage of murderers that have ever watched Dateline. Because if you watch Dateline, you sort of know I can't get away with it. I mean, because they get caught. They get caught.
And when you watch Dateline, you can almost always tell the guilty ones from the very beginning of the episode. Can you not?
Yeah, they try to put them in street clothes, but I know.
Yeah. The lighting is so good that you know we're in the prison visitors room. But also when they show that secret surveillance camera interrogation room stuff, they leave the room. I'm gonna go get you a Sprite, ma'am, and they leave the room. And there's almost nothing you can do that doesn't make you look guilty once they.
Because you're sitting there going, "Hold it together, dude. Hold it together. Just God, calm down, calm down, calm." I'm like, "Come on, man. What are you doing?"
Lamar, if they'd ever watched a single Dateline,
yes,
they would know not to do that.
See, I think I've watched enough Dateline. I could get away with it, but then I'm smart enough to know that I think I could, but I know I can't because it happens every time. I'm not doing
Here's
it.
one thing I know: when the law dogs leave to go get me my Sprite, I don't say things like, "Oh, get it together." No. This is what I do.
God, I miss her so much.
How am I going to tell the kids?
How can I ever live without her? Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Hey, buddy. Hey, look at me, man. Nothing can happen to Carla or Kevin because the cops will get this happy hour.
Yeah.
This will be the tease for that night's Dateline.
Yeah, it is.
They called it happy hour, but it wasn't very happy for Carla and Kevin.
See, let me tell you, the way I would make this disappear so fast.
Thank you, Heather.
That's
my girl right there.
See, this is. I'm telling you, you don't understand what the mafia is. We're the mafia.
Oh no, me and Heather, we have a blood oath. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you something that I have on my phone. So the last thing I do every night before I go to bed is I check on my people. And I took a screenshot the other night. I don't know if you can. Oh, you can see it.
It's too bright.
Okay, so this is my Find My iPhone. It's Kevin, Olivia, Joni, my sister wife, Heather, Karamia, and Elizabeth. Home, 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 home,
Safe.
home. Until I see all those names lit up as home, I don't go to bed. And I keep a close eye on Heather because I know Heather's habits. And if I ever look at my phone and it's 10:22 on a Tuesday night and Heather's in a forest, I know we need to get the police to start searching.
I would not be out in the wild. I would not be outside.
Heather, you got to know this. If something terrible ever happens to you on your last breath, you know we will hunt them sons of bitches down. And and listen. Half of the show now that Sherry's with me, half of the show is armed. We will kill a son of a bitch.
I send Lamar my targets.
Yeah.
I'm definitely dangerous, but I'm not inaccurate. So, I want to share some happy news before we jump out because it's after 6 o'clock and folks need to get back to their regular lives. So once again, if you get a message from Heather in your Facebook Messenger inbox, that's not spam or a scam. That's Heather trying to get a hold of you so she can get your address to ship you a prize. Yes. Bob's youngest daughter had her baby today.
Yes.
And she is
awesome,
beautiful and precious. Yeah. Her name is Mia Lacey. and then her last name. Which, I probably should be respectful and not reveal. But anyway, mom is healthy, baby's healthy, Bob's over the moon.
Yes.
And she has like just the little, like a China doll baby precious face. She's so wonderful. So that was super, super good news. She was unable to come to Mary and Landon, Bob's wife and daughter, put together a little retirement celebration for him last weekend. I think there were some pictures of it up on Facebook. We'll post some, right, Heather?
Yeah,
When
I'm
we get a
working
chance.
I'm working on some photos and videos for you guys. There will be, not to plug the paywall, but if you want the full versions of the speeches,
that'll be on premium. Yeah, just because of the bandwidth that the video eats up. So Allie couldn't come to the party because she was due any second, and that was just, you can't travel when you're that close.
Yeah.
So it was so exciting to get the news and the picture that we have a beautiful, healthy little baby girl. So as soon as we can, we will post some photos of that too. And now Bob has 2 granddaughters and a grandson.
Yes.
And when I talked to him this afternoon, he was in his car racing to get to that baby. So
it's so exciting.
Yeah, it was very, the timing, if you trust, things work out. The timing for him has just been perfect, to be able to gather around.
Now he can see God, the time he can spend with his kids and grandkids is awesome.
Oh, it's precious. So we started off telling y'all why the show was jacked up today, and why you complaining to me. There's a really good chance I'm going to go 3 kinds of Philly right now because I'm so fried. Hopefully it'll be okay tomorrow. And then we covered some cast iron cooking.
Yes.
And Lamar explained to us how the bun on a Filet-O-Fish sandwich is like a warm little pillow. And then we looked at some ways that you might want to not murder a loved one, because
forget the antifreeze. That's been done. It's been done too much. They're looking for antifreeze. Stop it. Don't do it.
I know that you're not thinking straight when you're in the interrogation room, but when the nice officers leave to get you a drink, shut up and just sit there.
When you're by yourself, shut up.
Because you're
not alone. Shut up when they come get you. When they say you can be quiet, be quiet. Don't
be quiet. Oh, and if you're a person who's like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about, I don't ever watch Dateline, but I am thinking of murdering my spouse, then you need to start watching Dateline. You
got to watch Dateline. If you watch Dateline enough and then you feel like you can still murder your spouse, have at it. But I'm just telling you,
that is not permission for murder, just for legal.
That is not.
We're not
murder. We're telling you, you're not going to get away.
You're not going
to
get away with it.
Oh,
I tell people this all the time in True Weird Stuff. You will be caught thanks to the new forensic technologies. But so here's the thing: you're definitely not going to get away with it. So it's not worth doing it at all. Don't even try it. And we're not recommending that you murder anyone. We're very, very, very much against murder. We're just saying that if you do.
Vengeance, I'm a little bit like this on. But I mean, murder's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible.
You're against
premeditated.
Don't murder your own spouse, hire a hitman. Calvin, yes, except please don't do it on the internet. Didn't we just have another internet?
You cannot hire a hitman. There's no such thing as a hitman. The only hitmen are working for somebody. They're not sitting at the bar waiting on you to say, "Hey, can you kill my wife?" They're not doing that. It's not happening. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a scam.
They're all undercover cops.
Yes. It's a scam.
I have told you all that my father, who is he's dead now, and he's wherever people like him go.
That'd be hell. Go ahead.
Yeah. Some sort of punitive situation until he repents. But my father's second wife was someone he met when they were both in a halfway house program. He had been in prison for manufacturing meth, and she had been in prison for hiring an undercover New Jersey state trooper to kill her husband. And she was in prison because she got caught. Because it was an undercover New Jersey state trooper. And hello, all of the hitmen on the internet are law enforcement.
Yes.
You know what's crazy to me? The woman who tried to put a hit out on her prior husband could get a date, and I can't. Okay.
Heather, that's so fair.
Life is not fair. It's
no.
And you know what? Here's the thing: like, you don't deserve to suffer. You don't even want to murder anybody, and you can't get a date. That seems wrong to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's a problem for another day.
It is.
Save that one for the next podcast.
The thing is, like, look, there are going to be a bunch of people who are like, "Oh, I have a nice boy for you, Heather."
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't, because only crazy men like me. Only crazy ones. If your son has a neck tattoo, we'll probably get along great. Probably be fantastic.
You know, the thing about the neck tattoo, and I know we really do need to go.
We're in overtime.
The thing about the neck tattoo, like, I almost admire your ability to suffer, because this is some.
Yeah.
Heather, is this not a terrible place to get a tattoo?
Yeah. This is as far as I've gone up, and it was like vibration in my skull. Never again.
Yeah.
I would think the ankle is still the worst, or the top of the foot. Oh my God.
I mean, but have you ever seen? I see them in mugshots on Morons in the News.
Well, that's why they're there. They got a neck tattoo. That's why they're in Morons in the News.
And this guy will have like either like a profanity tattooed on his neck. I saw one guy that had "Mama" tattooed on his neck, and I was like, man, I know
she's proud.
I don't presume to speak for all the mamas, but what mama is like? Did you see what my boy did for me for Mother's Day? He got a big old neck tattoo.
Yeah.
But they're always crazy. All right, Lamar, tell everybody what you're going to review tomorrow.
I'm reviewing Novocaine with Jack Quaid, Dennis Quaid's son, and he is a great actor, and it's a great movie. And there's blood, and then there's some more blood. Then there's some action, and there's some more blood. Then there's some torture. But it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Why is it called Novocaine? Max thinks it's a dentist horror movie.
No, it is because he has a disease, and it's an actual disease that 1 out of every 125 million people get. He feels zero pain. He feels zero temperature. So he could put his hand into a French fryer and he wouldn't feel it. So, yeah. It's great, though. It's an action movie. It's a comedy. It's funny. It's good. It's really good. It's really good.
You know what my grandma Blackhair would say to Jack Quaid? Oh, you can't feel that? Try having a baby. I can promise you'll feel that. Okay, so congratulations and welcome to the world, baby Mia.
Yes.
We so appreciate y'all joining us here tonight. Happy first anniversary to Tony and Donna. And again, 1,000 apologies for the technical screw-ups today that may happen again tomorrow because we don't know.
We don't know.
But the podcast still works. So don't worry about
Always.
that.
Podcast always works. And the People's Movie Critic is really excited about his review of Novocaine. So
it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Turn in.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go to my second handgun class this weekend. So I'll tell you all about it next week. In this one, we're moving and targets are moving and we're doing like tactical I don't know what tactical reloading is because no one has ever used the word tactical to talk to me.
I'm gonna tell you this. I've been to one of those competitions. Once the slide stays back and you're empty, you drop it, you slam that next clip in, and you still start shooting. Do not shoot when the target turns and it's a woman holding groceries. Let that go.
What do you mean? So when the clip is empty, I just let it drop onto the ground?
When
like
the clip is empty,
animal?
you hit the button beside the grip. It drops the empty clip out. You grab the full clip, throw it in, boom, and you're ready to go again. Yep.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. One thing I realized at the gun store today when I was getting my holster, and I haven't had a holster since I was 8 and was a cowgirl for Halloween. I mean, like I have not had a holster. They were asking me questions, and I was just so blank. And I realized in that moment that I've learned nothing from TV and movies. I mean, when I watch John Wick, I'm like, Keanu, yes, sir, buddy. I'd like to tear off some of that. I don't know what he's firing. I don't know who he's shooting at. Like, I didn't learn anything from TV.
That's good though, because you don't need to learn from movies. Because if you learn from movies, you're holding the gun sideways, which is ridiculous.
Oh, when they do that, you know what's interesting? And there's a class I'm going to take it in the fall. Christy was telling me about it today. You know when you're watching like a TV show and the cops or the FBI agents, they kick down the door and they're in the dark room and they have a flashlight in one hand and the gun in the other.
Yes.
You're doing that.
Yeah.
There's a low light shooting class that we're going to go to, and you have to use a separate flashlight because, as Christy pointed out, if you had a flashlight mounted to your gun, everywhere you point at the light, you're pointing a gun, and that's not safe. That's not responsible.
Yeah.
So you got your gun and you got your flashlight, and I am having such Mariska heart attacks.
Oh God, please.
Okay, we really have to close it down because we have one more thing to do before we can go to bed.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night.
We've had a great time though. We've enjoyed it so much. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it.
We're gonna put ourselves to bed like a filet of fish sandwich and a hot, fluffy pillow.
Yes.
Yes.
With tartar sauce. Bye.